8 years have passed since the God Valley incident. Kuma was taking away the back pain of an old woman who looked like a passion fruit in a drawer, and he calls for the next one. But there was a huge line. The old lady says that Kuma always helps them, and that she went to church since her father's time. She says that their parents must be happy somewhere, since now their son has become a great pastor. They say that his hands really are miraculous, and the toothless guy asks if Kuma can't take away their pain in the middle of the week. Ginny already puts her foot down and says that only on Sunday. She says that these freeloaders don't even pay for it. They already call her a scoundrel, and she says that it's not a hospital. The old lady says that she has such a dirty mouth, but she's very pretty, and that the scoundrels in town won't stop asking her out. She says she doesn't care about that, and the old man says she doesn't care because she already has Kuma, and she's already blushing. She can't hide all her love, and she tells all the old men to go home. They say that seeing Kuma brings them peace, and Kuma says he's happy about that. Then Ginny says he's too nice to everyone. At the end of the afternoon, an old lady says she would give all her money to Kuma, but it's hard to survive with the heavenly tribute. And now there's this new king called Bikori, a tyrant famous for being cold and heartless, and if they got sick, they couldn't save up money to pay the heavenly tribute. They say that one day an old man was arrested and died of hunger, because this psychopathic king doesn't even give food to the prisoners. After all, he only knows how to flatter the heavenly dragons. They say that the elderly can't survive this, and that's why they need health to play the role of celestial dragons. Kuma says he can relieve all their pain or illness, and they send him to come every week. Everyone is grateful, and this time not even Ginny objected. As a thank you, the old lady gave Kuma a basket of food to eat with Ginny. Kuma says goodbye to them, and Ginny is in agony, because Kuma was facing all the accumulated pain of the elderly. Since he can't just take the pain and throw it away, Kuma started to absorb the pain, and we had a rerun of Zorro in Thriller Bark, and my friend was in so much pain that Kuma screamed a lot and spat blood from his mouth. Then he hit the ground hard. All this while Ginny was trying not to cry. Ginny takes care of him, asking how he can go through this every week, and the old people don't even know he goes through this. Kuma says that someone has to take their pain, otherwise the pain comes back to the same person, but he says he's happy to see everyone well. Then he says he's going to train and get stronger. Ginny says that's not a problem, and to change the subject, he talks about the food basket he got, and the hungry girl quickly forgot everything, and the two are already having dinner, and Kuma asks if Ginny wants to go for a walk with him. She says it would be nice to have a barbecue, and she gets all happy. Sometime later, Kuma is receiving a newspaper, and Ginny asks him to go make some coffee, but what she wanted was something else. After Kuma has made the coffee, Ginny goes to look at the rainbow and has a brilliant idea, and asks Kuma to marry her. Kuma is surprised, and she is happy. Kuma rejects her, and she asks why, since Kuma also loves her, and she promises to make Kuma happy. Kuma starts remembering the past, and says he doesn't want to see Ginny unhappy, and he starts to change the subject by talking about the news in the newspaper, and talks about the dragon that is fighting the government, and says that one day he also wants to go to sea to dedicate your life to save other people, just like Nika. Suddenly someone knocks on the door, and Kuma comes out to see. Ginny goes to church, and there were some men who were already flirting with her, and they offer Kuma a fish as a gift. Ginny throws a basket at his head, and everyone starts laughing, saying that she's mad at him, and who would be crazy enough to reject a beautiful girl like that. And 22 years ago an incident happened in the Sorbet Kingdom. Kuma is quick and orders everyone to free the prisoners, and the soldiers ask who this giant man is. The old woman asks for help. A background character says that the new law is that they can use the people from the south as they please, and Kuma says that he will not let them be taken as slaves. The background character says that it is the king's will, and says that everyone will suffer at his hands. Kuma launches his attack on a soldier who hits the wall with everything. The soldiers say that he has gone too far, and Kuma begins to launch a sequence of attacks that hit everyone, and the prisoners take the opportunity to escape. The soldiers say that he will kill everyone, and Kuma is already preparing a monstrous attack, who sends everyone to infinity and beyond, and you should never make Kuma angry. The soldier asks the king what to do if his law is not followed except, and Usopp's uncle says that people tend to be easily influenced by labels. Soon everyone will hate people from the south, and the Sorbet Kingdom will only be the north. He says that the amount paid to the celestial dragons is determined by the number of citizens, and says that the south, full of elderly people, is holding the kingdom back, and that if they cut them off, the kingdom will become rich. He already shows Kuma going to prison, and he asks why Ginny is there too, but it's obvious that she fought against all of this, right? The cellmates start laughing, saying that this mess was worth it. Kuma says that it's wrong to be enslaved just for living in the south. He tells Ginny that this kingdom is implementing great discrimination against the poor, and she says that the king is just a puppet of the celestial dragons, and she says that if they want to rebel, they'll have to be willing to fight against the world government itself. Outside, the kingdom was being attacked by a bunch of people. The soldier orders the king to evacuate, but they've already shot him, and they put the barrel right in that scoundrel's mouth, and it was the revolutionary army saying that they won't let this puppet of the world government escape, and thanks to the dragon, the king revoked the decision to enslave the people of the south. The dragon says that Ivankov's favorite caused an uproar in the country, and Ivankov says that dragon will like him right away. They open the cell. Kuma and Ginny are surprised to see Ivankov. Kuma asks if the man next to him is dragon. Ivankov calls Kuma to change the world together. He says yes, and of course Ginny goes along. And after the great era of pirates and disaster in O'Hara, that's how the revolutionary army came to be, which would become infamous dragons all over the world. The dragon says they still don't have any money, and they will only help those who really want to rebel against the government. They will train those who want to join them to take up arms and fight. Kuma asks where he learned to use weapons, and he says he was once in the Navy, and that he couldn't find any justice there. Kuma says he will support the dragon until the end. Ginny says she will do the same, and the dragon says they won't regret it. Kuma has returned to the kingdom, and says he came back to see everyone from time to time, and asks if anyone is sick or hurt. 8 years have passed, and in a certain kingdom, and Ginny is happy as can be, because tomorrow she will meet with the Kuma group. Some extras say they wish they were Kuma to being loved by Ginny, and suddenly someone broke into the place. They already told Dragon that Ginny was kidnapped, and Kuma almost had a heart attack.